This video is the fourth part of a multi-video series on the modeling of ice accretion on an airfoil using FENSAP-ICE. The geometry used will be an ACA 0012 airfoil. The parameters can be seen on the left, and the steps followed will be first to model the flow field, then the droplets cloud, and then the surface thermal and mass balances to get that final ice shape. Part 4 will show how to model ice accretion as a multi-shot simulation. So what we did was really a single-step ice simulation, but in practice, what is usually done is multiple iterations over that process, since the deformation of the surface has an impact on the flow and droplets. So we're going to model that by inserting a new run, and in the sequence subfolder, you will find these multi-shot simulations. So let's go with multi-FENSAP. And then you see all these, the same runs are there, but really they take only an input, the grid, and all the outputs of the others are going to be injected into them. So what we need to do is first drag that grid file there, then it activates all the options, and then we will drag all these config options from flow, droplet, and ice on top of each of them. From that point, just by doing that, all the simulation is configured for the multi-shot simulation, except for that icon here that is the configuration of the sequence itself. So by default, it's doing a single iteration, and by default, it's also always restarting from the previous iteration if you have multiple iteration, which is recommended. So what we will do is generate a new sequence of 2 shots, and we won't append it. We'll just do that like that, and we'll do it by splitting a total time of ice using the 420 seconds that we used before. Okay, so we have them there. We could set values there, change it manually. We could also add some variables. So right now there's only the ice time here as a column, but we could define the CFL. For example, if we add that, we could change the CFL used by the flow solver FENSAP for each of these iterations. So let's start with that only and run it. Now you see we have only that settings part of the view. Let's run on 12 cores. Starting, so it's showing you all the different steps of each iteration using that same word. So you have the iteration number and then the run or the module being run. So if we look at the log while it's working on it, all the different steps are going to be listed. So in addition to the 3 steps that we did manually, there is also the grid displacement that has been added. So we will be able to run on that deformed surface. So the first flow iteration is complete, and now we could go look at the results of that air solution while the rest of the modules are being computed. So for example, here we could look at pressure while the droplets are being computed. And then you see it went quite fast. We are already at the second iteration. Now both iterations of the flow solver are complete. And so now we can see that we have multiple options when we try to view the solutions. And what we will do is select all files. And now what's happening is let's look again at pressure. If we come to the view tab that we had overlooked before, we can now switch between the solutions. For example, if I click play like that, although it's a bit fast, but you can play with it. Here there's only 2 iterations, but you can imagine that if there's many more, you could see it a bit more smoothly. So what we see here is that some ice was obtained. It deformed the surface. The mesh was then deformed also, like that. And the flow solution was computed again. Okay, the simulation is completely done. The only thing left to look at is the ice itself. So let's look at all files. Go to view, and then we can have a look at how the ice increased between these 2 layers. So that is all for how to model in-flight ice accretion on an airfoil using first a single iteration with flow, droplets, and ice accretion itself, and then how to change that setup to obtain a multi-shot simulation of ice accretion.